my name is Kadri Adrat, and I'm going to be conducting the training or the workshop today on the topic of public funding opportunities. So we will go through partly different opportunities that you might find interesting or that might be relevant for you. And please, during the introduction or during the descriptions of the funding opportunities, if you have any questions, raise your hand and let me know. Let's try to make it a dialogue instead of my monologue. But before, and also one technical remark, I'm sorry, I cannot show you the slide deck in full screen mode because it doesn't switch the slides if I share the screen. So I hope that everyone can see what is written in the slides, and we can share the slides with you afterwards as well. But before we go to the topic, maybe a little bit of introduction about myself. I am currently associate partner in Civita, and my field of activity is public funding for private sector companies. So we work with, me and my team, we work with different funding opportunities on the European level and also in national level in Estonia, as I'm based in Estonia. I have been working in Civita and in the funding domain for a little bit more than 9 years, so quite an extensive background and history. And I have worked with both private companies as well as public sector organizations, so obtaining funding and grants also to public sector has been on my table some years ago. And before Civita, I was actually working with European funding projects for universities and R&D institutions, but then I was rather on the funders' side, checking the costs and the project progress of universities in Estonia. But today, the main focus of my presentation is going to be funding possibilities for mainly SMEs. And we are talking about the funding opportunities that are available on the European level. As you're an international audience here, then I cannot go into national funding opportunities because these vary in different countries, and they are their objectives, goals, also requirements and conditions are different in different countries. But European funding opportunities are the ones that are applicable for or relevant for all the SMEs working here. Here on the slide, I have basically tried to give an overview of what kind of funding opportunities are and what kind of cases or activities can be covered through public funding. And as you can see that there are very different topics or very different targets, themes that the public funding opportunities cover. What is the main common topic that is usually covered by all of the funding opportunities is R&D and product development. For the rest of it, it depends a lot on the concrete funding opportunity, whether it's covered or not. And in these cases, I will go into more detail when we go through the funding possibilities in the next slides. But the rule of thumb is, yes, that R&D product development are highly supported, especially in very innovative cases, and also everything connected to doing the R&D, doing the product development, doing the additional research can be funded from European Commission resources. Commercialization and exports can be funded as well, but there I have to admit already now that it's quite a restrictive amount of funding measures that include commercialization and exports. More is targeted towards actual development activities. And here on the slide, you can see different funding options like EIC Accelerator, Innovation Fund, Horizon Europe, and so on. So these are the international funding opportunities that I'm going to introduce you today. But why public funding, or what is the difference between public funding and private financing? What are the pros and cons in public funding or grant money, grant projects? So for sure, it is one of the most attractive funding or financing opportunities for companies because it's equity free. So you can get quite a considerable amount of funding without sharing your company, sharing the equity between the funders and yourself. It's like the characteristic side of public funding is that it is not usually meant for the whole company development, but it is, you have to define a project that you want to fund, whether it's a concrete product development, whether it's concrete research activity, but it has to be a concrete project that you want to fund, and then for that you can apply for the funding from public sources. It also means that within the project, you as a company are allowed, you are completely able to make your own decisions. You don't have to confirm the company level decisions with anyone, as long as you follow the projects and the activities of the project. What I have seen also in my practice and what is quite usual is that obtaining public funding or grants money makes the company more attractive to investors. So it means that someone else is co-funding the activity that you plan to do. And due to that, it's usually easier to get additional investments, raise investments and attract investors to the company. And it means also that as public funding is meant usually for more risky projects and more risky activities, then it's a good option to cover the financing of more risky projects before you actually can raise private investments. What is the maybe like cons, or what makes public funding a little bit more difficult, or what you can expect on the administrative side of it is that the process, first of all, for the application or proposal preparation is quite time consuming. And also during the implementation, while you have already gained the grant or you have got the grant, so you will have to dedicate some time to do the reporting of the costs, of the progress of the project, and so on, which means that the administrative burden can be higher than on a daily basis, within the work of a daily based business. It also means that as a project or the grant is given for a concrete project and the concrete project activities, then you have to follow the project plan or the project overview that you have provided in the funding proposal. Of course, some changes can come in because there is a lot unknown within the project, but in case of changes, you have to get an approval from the funding organization. So you cannot change the project without any approval from the funding organization. There are strict funding conditions, so you will get an overview of main funding conditions in the funding opportunity description as well, or within the next slides. But basically, it means that for each funding opportunity, there is a set of conditions that you have to follow, whether it's connected to what kind of costs can be included in the funding project, what can be the timeline of the projects, what kind of activities can be included in the project. So there are the conditions that you have to follow because without following the conditions, you will not be able to use the grants. And funding or public funding in most cases requires the capability to have own financing. Only in very rare cases can the funding rate be 100% of the costs. Usually it's anywhere between 60-70%. So you have to have the own financing capacity in addition to the public funding. So yes, timing of obtaining the public funding, making sure that you have enough time to actually go through all the processes, and being aware of the administrative burden that might come up is relevant when you think about public funding options. But now, going into the concrete funding opportunities. Maybe or probably you have heard of them. Maybe they are new to you, but my aim today for you is to go through the main conditions and main expectations of the different options that are out there, so that you have a reason to think, or the basis to think whether something might be interesting for you to look into further or not. First of them is EIC Accelerator. It is a funding option for SMEs, and the funding comes from European Commission, basically, European Innovation Council. And the main aim of this funding is to support companies with innovative ideas. So the target group is SMEs, and the aim of the SME should be to come to the market with a very innovative and very high growth potential development, a new product, a new service, which changes how the market works. From the previous funding funding rounds or funded projects, it's been material technology projects. It has been bioeconomy projects, but the main core is that the company and the project idea itself should be innovative. There are no restrictions on the topics who can apply, so projects from every field of activities can be applied. And it's also not restricted what exactly you can develop within the project. But yes, the innovation is one of the core parts there. It is meant for SMEs in EU or associated countries. So you should be within the EU. UK entities can also apply, but it is with some restrictions. The project idea or the company itself should be built on scientific discovery, some technological breakthrough to substantiate or prove the innovation. And the business itself, like the business track record of the company should be theirs. It means that you should be able to prove that you already have paying customers or customers who are interested in paying for your product or service. The team of the company is one of the aspects that is also highly assessed. And it means that within the team, you should have already the main roles covered. By main roles, I mean R&D people, sales people, overall company management, and so on. It is possible to also include a hiring plan in the proposal. It doesn't, so it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have the full team already there, but the main roles should be covered to prove that you are able to conduct the project and achieve all the objectives. And the growth ambition should be there. So we are speaking about European level growth, at least. Global growth, even better. So that you should be ambitious. The company should be ambitious. The project itself or the product or the target of the development itself should be on TRL 5.6, so technology readiness level 5.6. It basically means that you should have the prototype ready or prototype level ready. And then for the further developments, you can use the grants money or the grant amount. Usually, the expectation is that the projects that are funded within the EIC accelerator are the ones that target or have an impact on like European level problems or the issues that EU also wants to solve. So the connection to the European strategic objectives is relevant. What is peculiar for the EIC funding opportunity is that it is very competitive. It is very attractive to the companies because it's quite a substantial amount of funding that you can get. The grant is up to 2.5 million euros and the equity investment is up to 15 million euros. I will speak about the differences between the grant and equity on the next slide. But it is quite a substantial amount of support that you can get, so it is very attractive in the SME scene, which means that the success rate or the competition is also very high. When we speak about the funding, then grants, it is possible to obtain grant only and grant plus investment options. So grant only means that the funding can be up to 2.5 million euros with 70% of funding rate. And the grant is targeted towards product development activities. So everything that you have to do to get from the prototype side or prototype level to close to market readiness with your product. As the costs, you can cover personal costs, so the team salaries within your projects. You can cover equipment purchase costs, material costs, also outsourced services. You can partly also subcontract the project activities to a third player, although it should be like quite limited amount that you subcontract, because the main aim is that you as a company would grow and gain the experiences and do the developments yourself. And the time for the development within the grant is up to 24 months, so a 2-year period can be included in the grant project. The second option is blended financing, which means that in addition to the grant, you will also get the investment up to 15 million euros. And the main aim of the investment is to cover all the costs and all the activities that are needed to actually enter the market with your new product. So commercialization, export if needed, and setting up some sales representatives in target countries and so on. There are no certain rules or very strict rules as it is for the grant side for the investment, which means that everything that you are able to prove that is needed or relevant can be included in the investment side or the investment amount. What I often get asked is that what are the conditions of the investment? How much equity does the European Commission or the investors from the EIC side get, and so on. So here I don't have a very concrete answer, because the investment conditions are agreed on a case-by-case basis. So each time the funding is provided for the company, then you will go through the negotiations with the funder, and then the agreement will be made on how are you going to set it up. What is the aim is that European Commission or the European Innovation Council doesn't want to have any relevant share in the company, or doesn't want to interfere with the company management. But exact conditions are case by case. The proposal submission is done in 3 main stages. First of all is short application. So here within the short application, the main aspects that are assessed or expected to be covered is the degree of novelty, together with a proof based on what do you say, why your project idea or development is new and innovative and changes the market. It also should cover the scale-up potential, potential markets, growth rates, what kind of markets you target, what is the expectation, how will you grow and how much will you grow. And the third part is basically the level of risk. The idea behind the EIC accelerator funding is that EIC supports those projects and those companies who are not able to raise investments from private markets because the development level or the level of risk is too high for the investors. This is the place where EU chips in. So you have to also explain why it is why EU support is needed. The short application will be assessed. It's done remotely by 4 experts. The results come out anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks. And it is going to be a go or no-go decision. And if you get a go, you are able to submit the full application. When short application can be submitted anytime during the year, it will go directly to evaluations, and full application needs to be submitted by concrete deadlines. For this year, it's 2 deadlines. One is going to be next week, so the first one is 13th of March, and the second one will be in the beginning of October this year. Previously, it has been 4 deadlines per year, but this is first year when it's due deadlines. Full application itself is already a longer document. The page limit there is 50 pages, but it includes all the aspects about your project and the company as well. It means that the same innovation storyline has to be provided again that you did in the short application, but now it needs to be more detailed. The company overview should be there. How are you going to commercialize your projects? What kind of target customers you have? With which target customers do you have already contacts? What is the time plan for implementation of the project? Why the team is right for the project, and so on. So basically, the main aim of the full application is to showcase that you are innovative, the market is interested in your product, and you will have the capacity to actually go to the market and grow as a company. What is relevant in these cases is that you should provide as much supporting information as possible. So it's not, it doesn't, it is not enough if you just say that, yes, we have the market traction or we have demand from the market side, but you have to prove it, whether through letters of interest from potential customers, support letters from key stakeholders or key partners, also support from or some kind of feedback from private investors who say that, yes, this project is currently too risky with us, but once developments are made, we are ready also to invest in the company and so on. So everything needs to be proven within this proposal. Once the full application is submitted, it's going to be also evaluated by 3 experts, and the results come usually in 5 to 6 weeks, depending on the amount of projects. And the last phase is then face-to-face interview. when within the short application evaluation and full application evaluation, the evaluators are usually experts in some concrete topic that is connected to your project, or business consultants like me, for example, or any kind of this like expert people. Then interviews are conducted already by people with investor background. And there the main aim is to ensure the interviewers or the jury that you know your project, you are motivated to do it, your team is enough, you are you know exactly what you need to do, and you are capable of doing it. So basically presenting the team, presenting the motivation and ambition behind it. It can be that also very technical questions are asked, but it's not a usual case. The jury consists usually of 5 to 6 people who ask very different questions. They have seen your proposal, they have seen the previous evaluation results, but probably do not or have not read through the proposal to full detail. So you should be ready to know and cover everything that has been written within the proposal to make it believable. After the interview, the jury will have a consensus meeting deciding then who will get the funding and who will not, and the results usually come in 2 to 3 weeks after the interview. So this is the whole process. As I said, it's going to be, or it is rather a long process. You have to do quite a lot of work, but in the end, if you get the funding, it pays out. If in some of the phases you are rejected, you don't get the funding first hand, and you will be able to also resubmit the proposal to go through this process again. And in case of resubmission, it's not going to be the same evaluators who work with your proposal, but it's going to be a next set of people working with it. Just to give you the indication of the time frame that it takes to go through the proposal process until then the submission, then it's usually around half a year time. So when you start, this timeline is based on how we work with our clients, but it's basically the same. But if you start with the short proposal, you will need some time to prepare it and submit it and wait for the feedback or the results, then prepare the full proposal, then submit it and wait for the results. After the submission, then in addition to what you see here on the slide come the interview periods and the results from there. And after the interviews, you will go into a grant agreement procedure, which usually takes like 2 to 3 months. And in parallel to your grant agreement, you will also start negotiations on the investment in case you have applied for it as well. So yes, as I said in the beginning, it is a very good opportunity. It is very attractive to companies, but it also requires quite a lot of work to be done to also go through the whole process, and the project itself should be strategically in your timeline so that you have taken into account the time that is needed to actually to prepare the documents and get the results. Yes, one important aspect that I didn't clearly say in the beginning is that the EIC accelerator can be applied for as a single applicant, so you cannot have partners here. You don't need, and you actually cannot have partners here. The next one is Eurostars. Eurostars is also a European funding opportunity, but compared to EIC accelerator, then it has a little bit different possibilities, a little bit different conditions. First of them being that Eurostars application can be prepared only by these companies who are located in the countries that participate in the Eurostars program. You can see the map here on the slides. So all the companies should be in the participating countries. The second difference is that if EIC Accelerator is a single applicant funding opportunity, then here in Eurostars you need to have another partner from another Eurostars country. So you cannot have the partner from your own country, you need to have the partner from another country, and the partnership can be different. So as the aim of the funding is to support product development activities, R&D that is needed for product development activities, then the partnership can be very different. It can be that you partner up with another SME who has the relevant experience for your R&D or relevant know-how for your R&D, or you partner up with a company who is potentially your customer in the end, and do the development in collaboration with them, or any other opportunity. In some cases, it is also possible to partner up with universities, but it is not applicable in all the countries. Which brings to the third difference between Eurostars and the usual European funding opportunities. So here the conditions in different countries are a little bit different. The expectation towards the project is the same, R&D, novel products, and so on. I will go into the expectations in more detail in the next slide, but the conditions on which companies are supported, how big is the grant amount, and how you should set up the partnership is different in different countries. Just to give you an example, then in Estonia, the Eurostars grant is up to 300,000 euros per company. In Germany, it should be up to 500,000 euros. In Finland, there is actually no concrete limit on the funding, so it can vary quite a lot. And the budgets of the different countries vary also quite a lot. So if you would be interested and start looking for a partner, then it is also relevant to check the background or the status of the country the partner is located in when it comes to the budget of Eurostars, the conditions, and so on, to have the best partnership possible. Main conditions, in addition to what I already covered, is that the project leader should be R&D performing SME. So the main partner should be R&D performing SME. And for R&D performing SME, there are concrete conditions based on what the SME status is decided or evaluated. You can have other SMEs as partners. In some countries, also universities are supported, so you can have universities as partners, but it is not in all countries. The partnership should be almost quite equal, in the sense that the project budget should be divided between the partners, so that one partner doesn't have more than 75% of the total budget. So it should be a collaboration, it should be a partnership between two entities, making sure that both entities also get benefits out of the project, that the partnership is logical and makes sense why you are working with the partner. And it means also that the partner needs to participate in the budget and come in with their own budget. The project can be for 3 years, so the R&D activities can be done for up to 3 years, and the expectation is that at least or maximum 2 years after the end of the project, the product will be brought to market. So you don't have to be market ready in the end of Eurostar's project, but within 2 years after the end of the project. Eurostar supports only civilian purpose projects. So this is the only restriction. Otherwise, all topics are possible. There are no topical restrictions or topical aims for Eurostars. The third option is innovation fund. I will not go into too much detail with innovation fund, but just to give you an idea what it is about. As a background, innovation fund is also a European funding opportunity which has been opened since 2020, and it supports very different projects when it comes to the project size. So basically, there are big or large-scale projects that are supported, and here we speak about projects of 100 million euros and even above. But what might be more relevant for you is that it also supports small-scale projects with a capex or like the full budget of the project started from 2.5 million euros. The aim of Innovation Fund is actually to bring to the market new technologies, processes, products that help decrease GHG emissions. So basically, the expectation of Innovation Fund is that you have developed some new technology, for example, you have done the R&D work, and now you are planning to bring the technology to the market through first implementation, first time commercial scale implementation, and within the project you can then cover the mainly construction or capital expenditure costs that are related to the project. So this innovation fund is usually used by companies who have gone through the R&D phases, maybe have used also more R&D targeted funding opportunities, and now want to bring their novel solution to the market. The funding rate is 60% of the capex. There is a little bit of difference for the large-scale goals, but for the small projects, it's 60% of the capex that you can get back. The main expectation is that the technology would be, again, innovative, a keyword that goes through all the funding opportunities. At the same time, it's expected that the technology development would be mature enough so that you can already start implementing it. And it also expects that you have a very certain or very concrete plan on how you're going to finance the project or the own financing part of the project. So again, all kinds of proofs need to be attached to the project proposal. And the result should be, of course, GHG emission reduction. For that, Innovation Fund has a dedicated methodology on how to calculate the GHG emission reductions, and you have to submit it together with the project proposal, and it's also one of the evaluation criteria that is expected. Yes, so also an opportunity not for R&D, not for maybe more starting companies, but an option to go beyond the R&D activities, go beyond to the next steps. And then let's dig into Horizon Europe. So Horizon Europe is a very large funding opportunity, so I cannot definitely go into all the details, but the aim is to give you the idea of what to expect or what kind of possibilities raise here. what are needed from the projects in general, or what to keep in mind if you are thinking about Horizon Europe projects. The work plan or the combination or the amount of calls within Horizon Europe is very wide, and they cover different topics. So usually per year there are like around 200 different calls that you can choose from. So quite a wide opportunity. What is relevant in Horizon Europe is that when in Eurostars and EIC Accelerator, we were speaking about the projects not having a predefined topic that they have to follow, then here it is the other way around. So Horizon Europe, which is the pillar 2 here on the slide, is built on 6 main topical clusters. And the clusters define the topics or the themes that European Commission deems relevant to support through the Horizon Europe opportunities. It covers health, it covers, of course, culture, society, digital industry, but also bioeconomy, natural resources, and so on. So the main topics are covered here. And all the calls that will be published within the Horizon Europe framework are then divided or defined under a cluster that the call targets. What is also relevant here is that within the calls or within the conditions of the calls, the Commission has in a very detailed fashion defined or described the expectations to the project. So they describe what kind of projects they expect, what is the topic the project should cover or target, what is the impact or outcome of the project that it should target, and also what are the activities that are expected within the project. And in order to be eligible or be able to submit your proposal, you have to actually meet all the criteria or all the conditions that are set in the call text. So usually my advice or our advice on how to work with Horizon Europe is to define your project idea and then look for a call that might, from topic point of view, suit your project idea, and then go through all the conditions of the call to make sure that you actually fit. Because if you don't meet one of the conditions or one of the expectations, then you will not get funded. Horizon Europe has 2 different funding or project types that are relevant for you. First of them is research and innovation projects, and the second one that is going to be on the next slide is innovation action projects. What is common for both of them is the expectation that the projects should be done in collaboration, so within partnership. The minimum amount of partners is 3 partners from 3 different countries, European countries. But usually the consortiums are way bigger. So we are speaking about 10, even more partners within one consortium, within one project, who collaborate during the project. It can be also like we have had projects with up to 20 partners included. And the partnership should not be only geographically representative, meaning that having partners from different regions of Europe, but also from the organization type representative. So it should have startups, SMEs, if relevant, and also large corporations. In addition to those, also R&D institutions, universities. And it can be that based on the topic of the funding, also public organizations. So the partnerships should be as representative as possible, covering different regions, covering different organization or partner types. When it comes to research and innovation projects, then these are aiming to R&D activities within the project. So in collaboration with your partners, you should be able to explore the feasibility of a new technology, make some additional development activities, conduct some research activities so that the focus point or the outcome of the project would not exceed technology readiness level 6, which means that basically that the product or technology is demonstrated, but it is not fully market ready. Within research innovation activities, you can finance basic research, applied research, demonstration activities, piloting activities, testing, integration of technology, and so on. And it covers the same or similar cost types as for the EIC accelerator, meaning personnel costs, outsourced services, equipment, materials, and it also includes overheads. So a certain amount of the project budget is dedicated to cover overhead costs. In case of research and innovation activities, the funding rate is usually 100%. So this is one of the exceptions where you can get a very high funding rate because the target is actually going to do R&D activities on a smaller scale. In case of SMEs or smaller companies, it is usually very expected or a good idea to have some R&D or a bigger institution as the lead partner of the consortium, SME or startup being a project partner within the consortium, which means that the management leading of the project will be done by the lead partner. The whole project will be coordinated by the lead partner, but you as a project partner can then do your share of the development that is beneficial for you and that is beneficial for the whole consortium of the project. Yes, so this is relevant just to go through the keys to success again, is that you should match your idea with a concrete topic that you would like to apply for, have very good innovation background, have the ambition to go beyond state of the art or take the next step in the development. The project budgets or the funding amount, actually, the grant amount usually for research and innovation action is anywhere between 3 to 8 million euros. But what you have to keep in mind is that this will be then divided between the partners who participate. So this is the total grant that the project can get. The concrete amount of grant will be defined in the funding information or the topic information, but yes, the grant will be divided between the partners who are participating in the project. The second one is innovation actions within Horizon Europe. The core of it is the same. So basically the requirements for the partnership is the same. The division of funding amount or the grants between all the partners is the same. So here the projects are usually between 3 to 10 million euros will be divided by the project partners. The funding rates is 70% for enterprises. For non-profit organizations, it's 100%, which means that usually, for example, universities are interested to join the consortium because for them the funding is 100%. What is the main focus or the difference between research and innovation projects and just innovation projects is that these projects are now more close to market. So here the core should be close to almost market-ready activities. The topics are the same, which are covered, meaning the clusters that we spoke about. The keys to success are also the same. So innovation, going beyond state of the art, matching with concrete topic, and in addition to those, in this case, commercial potential of the project should be also described or proven. So here you already, within the proposal, you should describe how are you planning to reach the markets, what kind of activities will you do for it. So how to set up a project and write a proposal. So some tricks and tips that we have collected when we have been working on the proposals, and all these are based on our experience and best practices. So when it comes to the overall process, I think already quite a few times said it, that the time for preparing the proposal and for submitting the proposal takes time or is long. So you please plan sufficient time for actually writing. The proposal documents are very detailed. They require quite a lot of time to go through all the questions, to present the information that is required, and it can be quite a workload. So don't start writing the proposal just before the deadline. Usually the suggested amount of time is 2 to 3 months before the deadline. Then it's enough time to actually think through the proposal, think through the project. Of course, understanding all the opportunities and the weaknesses and plus points. So basically understanding all the conditions that you have to follow, making sure that you are prepared to follow all the conditions, and also think in the future perspective that once you get the grant, what kind of activities do you need to do during the implementation of the project? What you need to follow, how you need to report, so that anything doesn't come as a surprise in the end. In case you involve partners, then one of the main aspects to think about, or one of the main difficulties can be actually to manage the different expectations of the partners. So basically, developing a mutual project where all partners are involved, where everyone gets their benefits, their experiences that they deem relevant, and putting together a mutual vision of what you want to achieve in the end of the project. It can be sometimes quite challenging. It definitely requires time. It requires discussions, but it is possible to do. And in case you get the project set up in a way that everyone is happy, then of course it is highly possible that the proposal itself also will be with a higher quality. Again, in case of partners, look for the partners that you actually want to and need to work with. And in case it is needed, also involve different experts in topics where you see that you need additional expertise, and try to do the background research that all the partners are reliable. And also that they are capable to fulfill the project activities, deliver the project results, so that during the implementation you would not be left alone with some partners not delivering or not participating anymore. In order to make the process more, like the overall process more easy, then if you do a single applicant proposal, then the division of roles within your team is actually very relevant, because, for example, the projects that support only companies, they cover very different topics of your business. So having the marketing team presented, having the development team presented, having the general management presented during the proposal preparation is very relevant, and having clear division of roles between the team members is also relevant. When you're doing a partnership project, the same applies within your team, but it also widens to the overall team of the partnership. So again, defining already in the very beginning of what are the different roles of the different partners, what is expected from each partner, who is responsible for what, makes the work much easier and much more smooth. During the writing, all aspects that you provide or all arguments that you provide in the proposal supported with data and facts. So again, just to give you an example, that if you say that a certain market that you target is growing, then it doesn't. It's not enough when you just say that it is growing, but you have to have the data and proof for it. Meaning some market research, some publicly available growth rates of the markets or size of the markets, and so on. If you say that your business case is feasible and you will be able to earn X amount of revenues, and support it with a very concrete strategy on how are you going to achieve the revenues, already naming potential partners, getting support letters from them. So all the more you can back up your arguments with different data or proof, the better it is, the stronger is the proposal, and the more the evaluators are going to believe you. What is the other side of it is that in case you speak about some external experts or advisors who are going to support you through the project, then make sure that the advisors have some kind of public link to your company if possible, because what usually can happen and what evaluators have done is that they look for advisor in LinkedIn or just try to Google them. And if the relationship doesn't pop out, then they say that it is not, they don't believe that this concrete person is working for you. So having this like small bits and pieces together to make sure that everything is believable is very important. And it is connected to the traction as well. So as I've already said, and having concrete companies, concrete customers who are basically proving that the traction and the interest from the market is there is very important. When you start writing the proposal, then it's all about storytelling. So try, like the main aim of the proposal would be that it is clear and understandable for the evaluator, who in most cases even might not be an expert in your field of activity. So it can be from a completely different activity, so that everyone would actually understand what do you want to do and why do you want to do it. This means that the story of what is the problem on the markets, why it is relevant, how you want to solve it, and how does your project actually solve it, or what is the impact of the project. This should be this nice story, easy to read, easy to understand, and persuasive, I would say, actually, so that when the evaluator reads, they instantly start liking what you want to do. It means that the text also needs to be clear, and by clear, I don't mean that just write correctly, but usually what happens in quite technical topics as well is that you, as an expert in the topic that you're active in, know the bits and pieces and the details of it, which might result in the fact that the descriptions of the solutions or the technologies can be a little bit difficult to understand. So the text that you write down or how you describe your solution should be easy to understand to everyone who reads your text. And in order to make it also easier to read and to also make it more appealing to the evaluators, then use visuals as much as possible, as much as it makes sense. Use tables, figures, because the evaluators have quite a limited time to read your proposal. They don't have too much time dedicated to it, which means that the more or the easier it is to read for them, the better it is, because otherwise it might take them too much time, raise too many questions, and the result is that maybe they don't, I don't know, maybe they don't go into the project enough to fully understand it, or don't have the time to actually go into it. So again, make the life as easy as possible for the evaluators. And then again, coming back to the mostly horizon topics. So make the clear connection between what is expected from the projects and within the goal documents or like in the conditions of the project, and how your project is going to fit into the expectations. So very clear connections, very clear arguments to make sure that everything is clear and understandable for a remote reader or someone who is actually not knowing or familiar with your project. In case there are several writers, then one of the important parts is to finally, or like before the submission, I could actually harmonize the proposal, because otherwise it's visible that different people have written it and it's not very good. So plan the time for actually reading through the proposal before the submission, making sure that the use of words or use of terminology is the same in all sections. That the style of writing is more or less the same is very important. And yeah, I have covered the terminology part, that it should be clear, concise, explained. All the aspects need to be very well defined, clearly defined, and easy to understand. So we usually say to the clients or the people we work with within the proposals is that make sure that also your grandmother would understand what you're trying to do. And then it's the safest way. So this is the final slide from my side. I have been talking for basically 1 hour. So if you have any questions, then please, I left some time for the Q&A as well, so that we could have a small discussion.
And sorry, Kadri, just can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Sorry. Just questions. Thank you very much for your presentation. And maybe I was wondering if your material is available for us for the project, and if the lessons is also recorded.
The answer to both is yes. So it's recorded, and I can make the presentation also available to you. No problem.
And another question is concerning the innovation action and the possible proposal. Do you have some experience or maybe the as like best practice of a presentation of the proposal developed by or implemented by startups, or maybe group where the startup were involved?
We have experience with projects where startups are involved. So usually within the Horizon Europe and Innovation Action projects, it makes sense if some kind of R&D organization or a larger player would be the main partner. But there have been projects which also got funded that have been successful, where startups have been participating, doing or covering the role that the startup deems relevant. I think it can be completely a possibility to also get the funding from Horizon Europe for a startup. So I wouldn't advise a small startup to be the lead of the consortium, but participating in the consortium is a very good option, and it has been in practice as well.
Okay, thank you.
And maybe about partnership, when the question raises that how can you get into a consortium, or how can you participate in these projects as a startup, then there are two options: whether to, in case you have already some connections to R&D institutions and universities or any kind of these kinds of organizations, to talk to them. But also in the European funding and tenders portal, so this is a dedicated page for these opportunities. There is a section where you can actually look for partners. So it can be also an option to look into there to see who is searching for partners, which kinds of partners are searched, and you can also yourself like have an account there and state yourself that you are looking for different options. So a possibility. Maybe any other questions? It seems not.
It seems not. It must have all been very clear and understandable. But thank you very much, Kadri, and for all the others, I will share the slides and I will share the recording with the regional facilitators who can then share it with you. And thank you very much again, Kadri, and for all of you for listening.
Thank you very much from my side as well.